An Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, Shaden Sharp scored 25 points. Tamani Kamara had 19, and the Trailblazers cruised to a 121-102 victory over the Nets Friday night. Anthony Simons chipped in 14. Donovan Clingan finished with 12 for Portland, who extended their winning streak to 4 games. 7 Blazers scored in double figures. Portland continues their 7-game road trip against the best team in the league, Cleveland, tomorrow afternoon. Tip is at 12:30 on NBA Network. Coming off their big win over Wisconsin, the Oregon Ducks men's basketball team returned to Eugene this afternoon, welcoming the USC Trojans. 1080 The Fans, your home for Ducks basketball. Pregame starts at 12:30. Tip is at 1, right here on the Fan. Pilots basketball is on 910 ESPN Portland this evening. Portland is on the road against San Diego. Pregame is 6:30. Tip at 7. Over on 910 ESPN Portland. And Mariners spring training continues from the Cactus League this afternoon. Seattle takes on the White Sox. Emerson Hancock versus Shane Smith expected on the mound. First pitch 12:10. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The ultimate basketball party, Fan Madness, is back. March 20th and 21st at the Stadium Sports Bar at A&A Sportsbook. More info at 1080thefan.com. Have you been too busy to keep up on sports this week?
What has happened to the... What has happened? What has happened to the national interest?
No time to form your own opinions? Luke Anderson, astronaut. A man barely interesting.
I just picture you sitting on the rail at a strip club eating a Lunchable.
Will Darkins, hot air balloon attendant, frightened by technology.
I love you, but you're saying that this little old man, this dude was a clean 6'6".
We have the capability to build the 33rd best radio show in Portland. On Saturdays, about sports. The Sinner and the Saint will be that show. Better than they were before. Sportsier, funnier, more Labradoodles. The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate Show on 1080 The Fan, the
Odyssey
app, and 1080thefan.com.
Hey! Happy Saturday morning, you beautiful radio listeners. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your weekend, but let's check in with the most important man, the one, the only, the hacking up green phlegm, Will Darkins.
Yo, what up, man?
Playing hurt.
We got the beats.
You got the beats?
I got the beats, dog.
All right.
Come on.
All right.
You know what it's all about. That's that A-Town.
Yeah, so Will's voice, it's not at 100%,
low.
but his spirit is at 120%. So get ready. Get ready. Blazers win again. Blazers win again. Will,
I got that smooth ass.
How excited are you for the Blazers playoff run?
You $50 a pop.
I didn't look at the standings after last night games. Did the Kings lose?
Did the Kings lose? Did you just ask me that?
Yeah, let's go.
I didn't look at the standings. Did the Kings lose?
Yeah.
The hell's wrong with you?
What? Let's go.
I've never seen you like this. This bullish on the NBA.
Blazer Insider right here getting you the latest. No, they're still 4 games back. But hey, listen, chasing down the Kings.
I do not want them to go to the play-in.
You don't want them in the play-in?
No.
What? Why not?
I will say they are the NBA. Well, not. Are they? Are they hotter than the Lakers right now? Lakers have won, I think, 13 of 15.
Yeah, I mean the Lakers are. They've won. I think probably us and the Lakers are 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now. So just glancing at the standings because they're up in the last 10 games. OKC is 8-2, Denver Nuggets 8-2, Los Angeles Lakers 8-2. Your Portland Trailblazers are 6-4. The Cleveland Cavaliers, coming off of a 20-point comeback against the Celtics, are the hottest team in the league. They have won 9 straight. They are firmly in the number 1 spot and just took out the reigning NBA champion.
Didn't we just come off an 8-game winning streak?
Yeah, no, Blazers are hot. We can go back and if you look from the beginning of the year, not the season, the Blazers are playing very well. They're good. They're kind of fun to watch. Have you actually taken the plunge and watched any Blazers basketball?
Well, I will on the 19th. My brother and I are going to the Grizzly game.
Oh, that should be a fun one.
Wanted to go to the Golden State game costume, or not Golden State, rather. The Denver game, but the price difference was quite
Staggering.
astronomical.
Yeah. So you're not going to watch any games on TV. You're just going to go up cold turkey going, who's that guy? And they're like, that's Toumani Camara. He's
Well,
really
I am
great.
aware of everyone, and I watch highlights and I read.
Okay.
And that's, yeah.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, I mean, look, this season was touted as a rebuild.
It was capture the flag. It was tank, tank, tank.
Yes.
And now you're disappointed that it's not?
Well, not so much disappointed that it's not, but also like I don't really believe in it yet. I still just don't think this team is sustainable as it is right now. I think that they lost 4 rather, right after the All-Star break. And they're coming back and they're beating teams like Charlotte, okay.
Teams you're supposed to beat.
Utah, okay. Washington, okay.
Well,
Brooklyn,
not okay. Yeah,
okay.
You should.
So they're beating teams that basically indicate to me that they are no longer the Trailblazers, a garbage team. They're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not really good. They're okay. But
all right, yeah, that's.
But really, I mean,
but
am I wrong about that? What was that last winning streak? Milwaukee, that's a good win.
Yeah.
Orlando, not right now. Phoenix, not right now. Phoenix again in overtime, not right now.
Well, it felt good
Pacers,
then.
no. Sacramento, no.
Pacers came in on a equal winning streak, and the Pacers were doing just fine.
And then your 4-game losing streak included back to earth, which was Minnesota, Denver twice, and LA.
Yeah.
So yeah. They're okay.
Yeah, they are.
I think people are inflating how great they feel about them because they turned from absolute dog ass to now just like they're fine.
Yeah, well, again, but you look at the pieces. The Blazers are the second youngest team in the league, and they're the tallest team in the league. A couple of years ago, the problem was they were an aging team with 11 6'2" guards.
Hell yeah.
So
you remember those days?
I very much do. Where would you rather be? Young and athletic, with some, hopefully, some potential stars that could blossom there. Like, I'd be surprised if Toumani Camara is not considered for the first team all defense. He is very, very good. He does everything you need on the floor. Having a guy like that is 24 years old looks really good for the future. Shaedon Sharpe's abilities are, inconsistent at this point, but like his ability to go up and dunk over a 7-footer like he did the other night in Washington was awesome. And just being like, dude, a 50-inch vert where he's looking down at the rim from the middle of the key. It's great. Scoot Henderson looks like a basketball player compared to last season where he did not.
I do like that. That's where we're at.
Hey,
he now looks like a basketball player.
But he looks like an NBA level guard, where last year you had your doubts. At the beginning of this season.
I didn't have doubts. I had
what?
I had fears. Okay. Oh God, we blew the number 3 pick on this guy.
And now looking at it, you go, okay, you could see something there. His 3-point shooting since the calendar flipped is much, much better.
It's better.
And if he can continue to, improve at the clip that he is in, 18 months of playing NBA basketball is much, much better than he was. So,
and so look,
there's things out there. Donovan Clingan looks like he was a good pick with the selection they had this year.
We'll see.
But
I mean, he hasn't done anything for me to unequivocally say that. I think with
but he also has.
Picks,
I don't think he put the fear of God in you that you wasted that pick though either. Like
I don't know yet.
Okay,
that's the thing, and I think that's also kind of the theme of this team. Which is why I'm not buying in now, because I don't think this is really what you would call the glow-up period for this young squad. I think this is them kind of like finally coming into a ease of play with each other.
Yeah,
because last year it just looked like nobody knew who the hell each other were. And it was just kind of like throwing a bunch of 5th graders out on a basketball team that are all very athletic and saying, figure it out.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how basketball worked.
And so, I think that this season, this is the reason why I wouldn't care or don't think it really matters much if they make the play-in, obviously, because they're not going to be competitive. But that They're just not there yet. I would say that if they finish out this season strong and continue to win on a consistent basis, I think the Trailblazers then become your surprise pick for next season.
Yeah.
They become your Orlando Magic of last year, where they might come out and surprise a lot of people and show out real strong.
So right now, the Blazers have 21 games left. Is that math working? Is that right? Yeah? Yeah, 21 games left. If they split those, they would finish, let's say they win 10 more games this season. They would finish with 37 wins.
Sure. Yeah.
It's way ahead of their win total. But it's also kind of what you forecasted a handful of years ago when you got on your Oklahoma City train, which is here's a team that won 16 more games than they did the year before. Blazers won 21 last year. So if they end up going to 37 wins and you go next year, they could be a surprise pick to do some damage if they continue to win 10 more games every year in a few years. So this is kind of where we want to be, right?
Well, let me complete that circle for you then. Who is your Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Well, I don't know. But guess what? Guess who else didn't know that? The Clippers. I mean, maybe it's Shaedon Sharpe.
I don't think so.
It's hard to say right now.
I can't say any of them right now because
I would agree with that.
Because the Clippers didn't know it because they're stupid and they didn't play him.
Yeah.
They played him in spots and it was kind of like, boy, you didn't want to run him out there a bit more.
Well, but isn't that the complaint with Shaedon Sharpe right now? Is that he's not getting full starters minutes? He doesn't get the ball in his hands as much as he possibly could. If he's going to be your superstar, this is the lament of the morning show on this station, which is if Shaedon and Scoot are the future, why aren't they getting starters minutes? Why aren't they out there?
I think that if your team is winning and this is still happening, you might have your answer.
Yeah, well.
Maybe they aren't that. Because I agree with you completely that if they are your guys who you want to invest in the future, why don't you just roll them out there and play?
Well, I can give you a couple.
Looks like you're winning more consistently than you were when you did have them out there.
But they're also healthy more consistently than they were last year. I mean, that's been the thing with Shaedon too. I mean, you're talking about guys that are still 21, 22, and going out and having the full NBA physicality at that age. I know Scoot looks like he's just built like a running back in the NFL, but going out there and going, all right, let's figure out how to use your energy, conserve your energy, and have everything that you need for the full 48 minutes of a basketball game compared to just going out there and running around, because that was the thing with Scoot last year. He's went full speed nonstop, and then guess what, he's hurt. Shaedon went out there and tried to jump over everybody, and guess what, he's hurt. And so going like Ant Simons at the end of games has been really good. I do not mind, like a couple years ago, if you told me that was a guy that was going to get the ball when the game was on the line, he has been very good in those moments. You have a guy like DeAndre Ayton. Is he somebody you want to build a team around? Probably not. But at 25 years old, you're telling me a guy's like going, hey, I'm pretty good at this and I haven't really tried. What if I actually put down some effort in the next couple years and tried to be good?
That's a very big factor right there.
How different were you at 23 than you were at 27? Yeah. I'm just saying there is a lot of potential for these guys to get better across the entire board. The one guy you might look at and go, well, he's probably not going to get better is Jeremy Grant. This is what he is. Thibault, if he ever plays, that what he is. There's a couple guys that what they are, but there's a lot of guys that have still a lot of untapped potential. And I think that's where you can find, if you're looking for it, a little bit of hope in this team. But if they win 10 more games this year, 37 wins compared to 21, good, and they get 10 more wins next year, then you got them firmly in the playoff picture. So why not?
Who do you believe that there's a missing piece?
Oh, I'm sure that there is a missing piece, but I don't know that there's a piece where you look at it and go, there's not potential for it on the roster.
Could you give me a broad idea of what the missing piece is? Is it a position? Is it a type of skill set? What is it? What are we missing?
I don't know. I think if you get these things to click, you've got three guards that have a ton of potential to could be all-star. They have the physical ability if they can get that mental switch to go. And that I would include Simons in that, Scoot and Shai. I think all three of those guys have potential. Not saying that they are, not saying that they will be, but certainly all have potential to be all-star guards. Kamara on the wing, if he ends up being your 3 and having him playing out there where he can do 3 and D, and his shooting is getting better, his defense is already tremendous. He draws more offensive fouls than anybody in the league by a magnitude of 3 or 4, and you look at the size that you have down low with Clingan and Ayton. I think you have all the pieces that you need, but you're always going to be adding, and things are going to turn over. And you don't have any expiring contracts till next year. So right now, the idea that they had to get rid of Ayton or Grant or Thibault or whatever it is, I think there's enough there. But to say that they shouldn't make any moves, I don't think they're in a position where the moves are obvious that they need to make. I think
the moves they need to make
because the other guy is Chris Murray. Chris Murray's a guy where look at his twin brother. Keegan Murray is integral in what they're doing in Sacramento. There's another guy with a ton of potential. Right. Banton has a bunch of potential. So
you have too many good centers is probably your problem right now.
That's a good problem to have.
It is good, but it's a problem in the point that you're kind of at a bottleneck on your bench then.
Yep.
Because now it's like, how many times am I going to rotate Clingan, Ayton, and Williams? Well, how many times am I going to keep doing that without thinking of the idea of like, hey, wouldn't it be great if I had somebody behind Toumani Camara who could also come in and do those type of things? So what I'm thinking is that if you're going to make any changes, obviously it has to go through either the draft or trade because you can't really sign anyone. So I would say that with looking at your assets, you have kind of the famous picture of the two paths, right? Yep. You're at a crossroads.
Well, I would
call that a crossroads because it crosses.
Very good. Very good.
One of them is sustained success from where you are and incrementally building. The other is betting on the future.
Yeah.
The sustained success path is going, okay, perhaps we want to keep DeAndre Ayton here. We will package Robert Williams and Anthony Simons, and we will go get some great player or a slew of good players or draft picks to fill this team out and say, we're running with the young crew. We're doing this. We're going to stay on this track of our core of Clingan, Sharp, Scoot. Or you could take the other path and you could go, hey, I have Shaedon Sharpe right here who is incredibly electric and athletic. If I package him with, say, DeAndre Ayton, could I go out and get a home run hit? And let's do this.
Who's the home run that's out there? Because here's the truth.
You could always trade for somebody.
I know.
And that's what you're going to have to do.
Well, at some point. And you just need to decide who your guys are. Denny Advia is a good player, 24 years old. DeAndre Ayton is 26 years old. Toumani Camara, 24. Clingan is 21. Jeremy Grant is your only player on your roster that's 30. Scoot is 21.
Left on his deal.
Scoot is 21. Chris Murray is 24. Shaedon Sharpe is 21. Anthony Simons is still only 25. So all of these guys that are impact players on your roster are still young. Even Robert Williams feels like he's a lot older than 27. So you've got all of these guys, and it's going, all right, let's go all in. Here's our starting roster. Can we go out and get a veteran that can go and add to this? I don't think this is the year that you have to do that.
No. Not this year. Yeah, I mean, obviously not this year. You can't trade. But
well, but this offseason, you could go out and really decide who your guys are.
You have Jeremy Grant, if you so choose, is on this team till 2028.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, again, that's another piece that if you want to go out and you think that your young core, again, as you have just listed out,
everybody's
kind of young.
Yeah.
You have pieces to work with here.
Yeah.
So if you believe enough in it, because the young depth is so much, is there a point in this next offseason or say into next season before the trade deadline where you go, let's take a swing. Let's do this. Let's package together a bunch of stuff and go get a guy who might be pissed off somewhere else who's on a favorable contract. You know, you're not going to, I'm wishing high here, but favorable enough, and say, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is right now, and I don't know how that's going to shake out, but it happens quite a lot, as we've seen with Jimmy Butler.
Let's go get Joel Embiid.
Now, I would take Joel Embiid if basically the Sixers released him.
Yeah, but paying him $60 million a year doesn't sound like a very
I don't
good
want to have to pay. If the Sixers will pay half of it, I don't care. Sure.
But there's your guy.
I would totally take a flyer on Joel Embiid. If they paid half his contract, sure.
Yeah. So they're in an interesting spot because they have a lot of, and I said this at the beginning of the year, and you poo-pooed it. They have a lot of good players. They do not have a star, and they don't really have any great players. Like, who is their all-star? All-star potential across the board.
Well,
who is that? But who is
they're
that?
A bad team. They don't have an all-star.
Well, that's I know, but this is what I mean. But going through that list and looking at can one of these guys become a star? I don't know. Hope so. Sure, hope so. And the problem is this year's draft is one where I think that there's a lot of people that believe that there is star potential at the top of the draft, and the Blazers are going to miss out on that.
Oh, I think we already have. So
I
don't think there's.
That's what I'm saying. They're going.
Oh,
they're the path that we're going on is us missing that.
Over,
so it's like we haven't officially missed out on it, but it's.
I think what I would say is, I'm at least happy that this is a team now that seems to have a path forward. Yeah. There seems to be something there that there wasn't last year. And I think this was kind of the make or break year. I mean, I still am not very convinced that Chauncey Billups is a good coach. I'm very fearful he's going to get signed.
What's interesting about Chauncey Billups is he has had kind of zero pressure on him at any point in his coaching tenure. He had injuries the first couple years, and they kind of ended up tanking at the end of the year. Then the next season, same thing. Then they trade Dame. Now they're kind of in this position where they don't really have any expectations on them. The curiosity, if they re-sign him and they are an ascending team, what does he do when there is pressure? What I'd love to see is, like, if you did a coaches poll and all the other NBA coaches that are probably going to get fired anyways, what do they think of Chauncey Billups? Like, they go, here's the thing about Portland. Chauncey's doing a really good job with that team.
I don't think you want to do that.
Why not?
Because I think you're going to, well, let me flip it on you. What do you think other coaches will say about Monty Williams?
Yeah,
he's a good guy. I think he's a really great. It was a bad situation he was in. Coaches don't crap on each other.
No,
so they're always going to give unless you're a complete a-hole.
Well, I guess my point is,
which I guess I don't think Chauncey's an a-hole.
I guess my point is,
if
you did a coaches poll and ranked them, where would Chauncey sit? Not going. Hey, everybody, tell me about Chauncey. Go. Who do you think the best coaches in the league are? Because the funny thing is, when JJ Redick got hired in Los Angeles, do you think that was a good idea? The guy had never coached anything.
Yeah,
doing a pretty good job. Steve Kerr. Well. Steve Kerr was not a head coach before he was a head coach.
Whoa. Now, we got to break, and I'm not going to dig too deep into that. But I would contest there is evidence that Steve Kerr is a good coach. Not great.
Steve Kerr is a bad coach, and Will tell you why. Next, Sinner and Saint, 1080 The
Fan. When you buy a new house, you might say,
"Shut the front door."
Winning.
No, seriously, shut the
the Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, that's us. I'm Luke. That's Will. You'll recognize Will by his beautiful, raspy voice today and his hot takes.
He's about to smack.
Whoa. You trying to do Batman?
I'm here to fight justice.
We're talking
and sell ice.
We're talking NBA. We started talking Blazers, but then I was trying to figure out where Chauncey would rank as a head coach. I found the current coach of the year favorites, and they gave us a top 5. Daignault in OKC, number 5. JJ Redick, number 4. Mike Malone, of course, with the Nuggets, number 3. JB Bickerstaff, and the turnaround he's done with the Nuggets, who paid the highest contract ever to Monty Williams. Number 2.
The Pistons.
Pistons.
No.
What did I say?
Nuggets.
Well, no, that was Mike Malone. But yes, you Pistons. So he's turning around the Pistons after Monty Williams absolutely tanked them. And
So
Kenny Atkinson is your leader in the clubhouse right now for favorites to win.
Oh, he is the leader.
Coach of the year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing that from top down. I was like, why isn't Kenny Atkinson
number 5?
number 1?
Number 5 to number 1. That's the way you do a list.
Yeah,
but in
Cleveland has done something that most teams wish.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure what the Trailblazers wish they can do and can become, which is a completely solid team from top to bottom. There's nothing about that team that would indicate to you they have a major weakness. Now, here's the major caveat to that, which is they're just about as good as you were watching them. Meaning, I don't know how much better they can get in the playoffs.
That's very much Oklahoma City, too. If you look at the top of both conferences, it is, all right, are they giving us everything that they've got right now, or do they have another gear? And if they do, watch out. It could be
I think Oklahoma
course.
City will have another gear. I think that they learned from playoff experience last year.
Yep.
I just think that because of their youth, that's going to play a big factor. But I think Cleveland really is. I mean, it's a collection of guys who are all in kind of the girth of their primes.
Yeah.
And so this is a great Cleveland team. They're fun to watch. I watched them last night against Boston. That was an awesome game.
Great.
Came down to the stretch. It made you really believe that they could go up against them in a 7-game
What were they down,
series.
22 in that game?
Yeah.
At some point.
Something insane. And then Donovan Mitchell scored something like 39 to close out. And so it made you kind of believe and say, okay, well, maybe they could do something against Boston in the East if they did encounter them. Also, you need to consider that Drew Holiday and Porzingis weren't in the game, but
yep. Still. So that's the current ranking of head coaches at the top 5, but I don't have the all the way across the board. What I do have the preseason CBS Sports poll, which had JJ Redick at the very bottom because he had never coached before.
Yeah.
But Chauncey Billups was number 25 out of 30 on that list.
Yeah.
Preseason. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know where that sits. Doc Rivers is at 22. JB Bickerstaff was at 23 on that list.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sandwiched in between Bickerstaff and JJ Redick, who are now in the top 5 of coaches. So I'm not thinking that they know a whole lot about this. Kenny Atkinson, 21 on the preseason list. Now sitting at number 1. Where else are my? Malone was at 16.
God, really?
Yeah, it's just so it's. I just don't know that
He's
there's
another guy who I'm not quite sure if he is a good coach. Or no, I'm sorry, a great coach.
Yeah.
Mike Malone's obviously a good coach, but there's not enough there where I'm like, yeah, he really knows what he's doing.
Well, the number 1 coach on the list, Eric Spoelstra, how are the Heat doing? And then number 4 on the list, number 2 is Nick Nurse for the 76ers. They seem to be going just the way you want them to. Number 4 on that list is Steve Kerr. So are you going to tell me why Steve Kerr is a terrible coach now? That's what I really want to hear.
Steve Kerr is not a terrible coach.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
He's not terrible. I just think he's severely overrated. I think that the empirical evidence was incredibly overwhelming when he took a break and Luke Walton led them to an insane record. And then Luke Walton then took a job with Sacramento, which I will, from the onset, give him some credence here. That's a hard job to go into, right? You were going into a job where Sacramento at that time was not good.
Where the hell is Luke Walton right now?
I would guess assisting somewhere.
Let's find out.
But, he goes into that, and, he's given quite a leash. I think he was given 5 years, and he couldn't turn anything around at all. Steve Kerr, I don't really know. I think Steve Kerr, what he's very good at is motivating and handling egos,
which
I think is a very big
important
part.
Yeah.
It's a very big important part. But
anytime Steve Kerr can go,
if Steve Kerr doesn't have Steph Curry, I think he turns into a very, 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 very average coach. Very average.
I'm just always, it's because you cannot separate the two. Is Tom Brady without Bill Belichick? Yeah. Is Steph Curry without Steve Kerr?
Yes.
All right.
100%.
Okay. Is Draymond Green without Steve Kerr?
Yes. 100%.
Okay. All right. So
in every
way.
It
doesn't matter who the coach is what you're telling me in the
Not
in the
with
NBA.
that team. And I think it makes sense too for the fact that they very obviously, once the parts of that machine started to fail each other, they got significantly worse with that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you're going to sustain and get better when you lose pieces, obviously, but if you're a great coach, you're able to kind of maintain things and keep things going. Once Klay Thompson started to become kind of ineffective in his last 3 seasons, they dropped off.
Yeah.
Hard. Very hard. If you have the greatest shooter in a generation, I would expect you not to drop off so horribly and significantly hard. If you have somebody like Andrew Wiggins, who, when they won the title in 22, I think.
Yeah.
Why is it that he sucks such hard rocks now and that you can't coach him out of that? I just think that those kind of things, and there's nothing around that Andrew Wiggins situation where it made you think that there's something in his personal life. Well,
he did take extended leaves for personal reasons, so it kind of suggests that there is.
I guess.
Yes.
When did he do that?
Within the last couple of years, he definitely did that.
Well, was that after the title?
Yeah, so they won yes, it was after the title. So they won in 22, and then so they had 53 wins that year. The crazy thing is they had 39 wins the year before that. So in 2021, the year before was the year where they really tanked, where everybody was hurt. They had 15. So they went from
that's fine.
They went from winning the finals against the Raptors, or losing against the Raptors, where they had 57 wins, right? And then you had 15 the next year. Then they ended up with what? James Wiseman.
COVID.
Well, no. There were 75 games were still played, but you're right. It was the COVID year. The COVID year was 2020, 2021. Yeah.
That
so you had the bubble. Yeah. Well, what?
Raptors were 19.
Yes, Raptors were 19, but they still played 65 games and had 15 wins. Okay. So they had nobody. And that was the bubble year. And then in 2021, they still had a shortened season, and they won 39 games. And then they won the title. Mm-hmm. 44 wins, 46 wins. Those aren't hard fall-offs. It's still pretty good. So
I would say those are hard.
Okay.
You have the greatest shooter.
I understand that.
In a generation.
Yes, and they've won 4 titles.
Okay, that's great.
Pretty good.
When you had him in his prime, when you had Draymond in his prime,
you
had Klay Thompson
Kevin Durant
in his prime.
Yeah.
And let's not forget.
Well, but the 20...
Kevin Durant.
The 20...
What a tough coaching job. Let's see. What am I going to do here?
I will
greatest
say...
shooter in a generation, greatest scorer in a generation, arguably top 3 defender in the last 10 years. Let's see.
Well,
probably third best.
Can we say that,
or top 5 best efficiency shooter of all time?
Can we say that Draymond might be the best a-hole of his generation?
No, I said defender.
I know, but can we say that he
a-hole?
might? Yeah. I mean, who's a better antagonist than Draymond over the last 15 years? I mean, Dylan Brooks is emerging. Ron Artest. Well, did they play in the same? Would you put them?
Yeah, because Artest was on that Lakers team when they won in 10.
I say Artest passed the torch to Draymond. Draymond will end up passing it to Dylan Brooks. That's what I think.
Biggest a-hole in the last 15 years?
Yeah, because when was the last time Meta World Peace played?
Draymond. Is Ben Wallace still playing?
No, he's not.
Ben Wallace is kind of an a-hole.
Yeah, but it's been a long. He won a championship in 2003.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He could have still been playing a while. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I think probably. Yeah, he's probably the biggest a-hole of our recent NBA generation.
Meta Sandiford, our test now.
You get married or something?
I don't know. He hasn't played since 2014.
He hasn't.
And that was with the Knicks. I don't know how well you remember.
Oh man, he was on the Knicks.
His Knicks era.
That's great.
Then he played. I guess he came back in 17 and played for the Lakers for a couple years after going to the Sichun Blue Whales and played for Cantu.
I don't think you'll ever get a dude like Ron Artest really anymore.
Hmm?
Well, because I mean, Draymond Green, though known for his defensive prowess primarily, like he could still in his prime, he could still shoot and produce offensively. Like Ron Artest couldn't do anything offensively.
He's better offensively, I think, than you give him credit for.
He was serviceable. He couldn't really shoot. Don't you remember in the 2010 finals, right near the end in Game 7, where like Artest took the ball up the court and like they just basically left him alone, and he like pulled up from like 30. And Kobe from across the court looked like, I'm going to murder you. What are you doing? And he just like missed everything. Yeah, I mean, Artest was...
His three-point shooting percentage was 33% for his career. In 2016-17, he shot 23%.
Yeah.
But most of the time, he was
serviceable. He could get you points if you really needed it. But he wasn't... He was very much one-dimensional.
Yeah, 13 points a game. Dudes in a like 17-year career.
Dudes like Ben Wallace. Dudes like Dennis Rodman.
What do you think, Draymond? So Artest, 13.7 points per game. What are you guessing?
Over a career?
Yeah, over his 17-year career.
Oh, Draymond's got to be like close to 20, I would guess.
20 points a game?
Yeah, for a career. Yeah. Not 20, but close to it.
He is at... points per game for his career, 8.7.
What?
Yeah.
He only has 8.7 points. What's his 3-point percentage?
3-point percentage is 3.2.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, 8.7 points per game. I mean, in the heyday,
8 points?
8.7. He was
what?
His highest points per game.
Are you reading that right?
Yes, in 2015, 2016, he had 14 points a game. That was the highest he ever had. He finished 7th in the MVP voting that year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's more one-dimensional than Mr. Artest, Sandiford, Meta, World, something.
I guess, man.
So yeah,
I don't remember Ron Artest being a great shooter.
No, I'm not saying he was a great shooter, but he's a better scorer than Draymond. Better coach than Steve Kerr.
I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at the numbers.
But stats. I mean,
they're there. Okay.
I don't know. But if you want to do that, then come on.
You can tell me Jordan was a great scorer just because he had big stats.
Look, greatest quarterback of all time, Dan Marino.
Dan Marino was greatness.
Yes, of all time. Look at the stats.
But you can pull up the stats and he no longer has them. And Tom Brady went out there and made sure he got as many touchdowns as anybody did in a season.
Doesn't matter.
For a career.
Look at the career span.
Yeah.
You got to condense it to career span. It's Dan Marino.
I don't think it is. We can
look at old man.
We can look at those numbers. He played in a different era.
Yeah,
he definitely
tougher era.
Yes, that's
known as Jalen Hurts.
That's right. We're a little bit behind. Let's get you to a Sports Center update. Maybe.
No. Let me.
You're. Jeez.
I'm not feeling.
Do you know
good.
which buttons?
I don't feel good.
I don't know why. The weather is really nice and the sun is out, so like the gray sky. But there's got to be some sort of seasonal depression when it's like the end of the college basketball regular season on my TV in the studio when I wake up in the morning. Does that give you a little bit of anxiety? Villanova Butler.
President Trump's gonna pardon Pete Rose.
Wait, was he under investigation for something?
Did he get arrested?
I don't know. Just pardon him for cheating on baseball? Is Donald Trump going to put him in the Hall of Fame?
What Hall of Fame? Oh, the baseball.
The baseball Hall of Fame.
Do that.
I'll bet
How great would be that?
I'll bet you
executive order.
Yes.
Put him in there, damn it. That's awesome.
The executive order, and then it's also like Pete Rose and Donald Trump are both in there, and so like the bust is like them like arms over shoulders, just hanging out.
So wait, I don't.
Yeah, what's he getting pardoned?
Yeah,
he didn't really cheat on baseball. Expunge it.
Oh, he served 5 months in prison. Tax evasion. So, don't pardon him for that.
But he served time already.
Yeah.
You can't pardon.
He's dead.
You can't pardon a dead man for time that he served, can you?
And for a crime
that he committed.
Was probably very legit.
Well, he's also getting rid of the IRS, so isn't everybody like isn't all tax evasion expunged? Right? So Capone is fine.
You can't do that. You can't pardon somebody.
He just did.
For a thing he definitely did.
Yes.
Because of something that you disagree with.
And he served time for, and he's now dead.
He's dead.
Is Pete Rose's family happy about this? Can you read the line where his third ex-wife was like, "Great, who cares?"
We spoke to his third ex-wife, Maureen, who said, quote, "Is the check in the mail?"
How many times was Pete Rose married?
Oh, I would guess not that much.
No?
I'm going to go with the under. Something about me says that Pete didn't sleep around a lot.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm feeling that.
So, twice.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Everybody gets remarried.
Right? All right. Yeah, I guess so.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan 411.
The spring and summer months are around the corner, so it's time to start planning your golf rounds with the 2025 Fan VIP Golf Card. The Fan VIP Golf Card gives you the chance to play 5 Northwest courses.
Was a Playboy bunny. Did that sound weird?
Yeah, because you're on talk.
Yeah, my bad. All right, so first wife, 1964, divorce. Second wife, Playboy bunny and Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. When they separated, he started dating another Playboy model that was 40 years younger.
Nice.
But they never married, even though they had a reality show about them. And to let you know where Luke Walton is, get ready for him to reemerge as a head coaching candidate. He is the lead assistant for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
So who is an emerging team. Last year, Cleveland Cavaliers lead assistant. So there you go.
I can see him getting another shot.
We are way off the clock. We'll get to Good versus Evil. We will do it next. Sinner and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not required.
There's technology out there, and it can make the game better without taking more time. I think that's been the best improvement in the NFL is how quickly they're making challenges happen. They're going to move to the eye-in-the-sky technology that's used in tennis and all over the sports world for first downs, and then they'll just have the chains as backups for next year, so that's been decided. The technology, if it works, can make the game run more smoothly. Let's go. Who cares?
Well, not only that, but the fear that a lot of people have that, I mean, I think Scherzer might be vocalizing here that, oh, so you're just going to get rid of umps.
You'll still need a home plate umpire.
Yeah, and if you want to make the parallel of tennis, like you still have chair umpires.
Yeah, exactly. Well, somebody needs to call out and safe, and so you need somebody on the field to control the flow of the game and all that. The umpires are going to be fine.
Well, not only that, but like I think most major sports organizations understand the human element.
Yeah.
And there is a psychological human element to having a human representation of authority that fans can either agree with or disagree with. If you take the human element away from officiating, that's gone. Yep. And I believe that's a major part of sports. People love bitching about that stuff.
Of course they do. But
will they miss it? I don't know. But I think if you take it away, you make the game more bland.
Yes, but getting balls and strikes perfectly accurate, if you can, I don't know how that ruins the sport.
Yeah, no, I don't think
What is it, perfectly accurate? Like, what's your argument? Clouds, go away. Get out of my sky.
I hate math.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just trying to get this up here.
You got it?
Yeah. You hear that?
I hear something.
Okay, how about that?
Nope, turn it up. Crank it. Crank it. There you go.
Yeah, you hear that? You want to see that body.
What?
All right, time for my favorite story of the week.
Cool. That's good.
This one comes from TikTok.
I've heard of it. Is that Chinese company that's spying on all of us?
Which one? Okay, I'm going to read this story. And
cool.
I want you to, again, remind us of the interaction you have with your wife on the couch at night when she looks at her TikTok. Because right when I saw this, it still just reminded me of that, which I laugh at to this day. Anyway, here's your headline. TikTokers are dropping heavy objects on their feet in a viral trend called Risk Lifetime of Pain.
What? Risk Lifetime of Pain.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
A podiatrist has said that TikTok users risk, quote, a lifetime of pain and disability, unquote, by copying a viral trend to drop objects, including air fryers and toasters, on their feet.
Wow. That's pretty stupid.
I
like my feet a lot.
The hashtag dropping things on my foot has been used on hundreds of thousands of videos.
And just people there holding up a heavy object and then dropping it from a, I don't know, normal height, like counter height, onto their feet.
Yeah.
All right.
Luke Pilling.
Of course it's a Luke.
Received more than 3.8 million views for a video which shows him jumping around in his room in pain after dropping a toaster, air fryer, computer monitor on his feet. Asked why he decided to join the trend, the 19-year-old sales advisor told the
said,
news
I'm
agency,
stupid.
Quote, curiosity, and just because I think it's funny.
All right.
He's 19.
Yeah, well, 19-year-olds are stupid. And he got a bunch of views, and he got it, and he got validation from it.
I think I'm far enough away now where like I'm really struggling with like people 25 and younger doing stupid stuff and me being like, what are you doing?
Are you talking about the Blazers again?
You know what I mean, though? Like, it's tough because I do know myself at that age. And I was like, well, I did really dumb things.
Yeah.
So, like, I have to give some levity here. But I really don't remember doing something this dumb.
Well, yeah. There's the thing that I struggle with the disconnect on the internet. And this will make me, I'm sure, sound very old. But we did dumb things when we were kids within a group of our peers. And there was sometimes you were laughed with and sometimes you were laughed at. But you could almost immediately identify which it was. You tried to do something that you thought would be hilarious so everyone would laugh with you. And then you failed and it went terribly wrong and they all laughed at you. And you went, well, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Okay. But the disconnect for me is when you're online, you got 3.8 million views. How many people were laughing with you and how many people are just laughing at you? Because these are not your peers. These are not your friends. This is not your thing. It's the same thing I say about the gambling where it's like, I don't mind making a bet between friends. I just don't want to give all my money to DraftKings. I don't want to give all my money to the casino. That's kind of where I am with that. This is not you improving your brand and making a bunch of new friends like you think it is.
Yes,
you're just making TikTok more popular. You're creating an avenue for everybody else. If you're capitalizing on this, I believe there's a TV show that was very successful doing this, where it was just a bunch of people laughing at them. I'm pretty sure it was called Jackass. So,
and what is it? That Rob Dyrdek show?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he doesn't do as many of the stupid things now. I have not watched a full episode of Rob Dyrdek
Ridiculousness
doing anything. Doesn't he just stand there and watch dumb videos?
Yeah, and then he has
he used to do dumb things.
Yeah.
But now he's aged out and he's just like, yeah, it's me and all the people that you know from when we used to do dumb stuff, just watching other people do dumb stuff.
Hey, yo, check out this guy put a wee-wee in an air fryer.
Yeah. But that wasn't that Tosh.0 too?
Yeah, but Tosh.0, Daniel Tosh at least would have jokes.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I don't know what
it's
it
just
is.
them watching it and then laughing and then making kind of dumbass comments. And you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Again, 25 and younger.
Yep.
It appeals. Yep. But yeah, as I get older, it's just kind of man, was I that dumb?
Yeah. Well, at least you don't have kids. Wait. I know. How dumb are
No. No, I do.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't have boys.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, I do. I have one.
You're in trouble. Get ready for him to do dumb things. And you, luckily, how old is Finn? 2 years?
3.5.
3.5? Dang it. I was going to say 3.5. The time between now and when he's a dumb 19-year-old, there's going to be so many more platforms for him to be dumb on. So many other ideas out there for him to be dumb with.
He actually did do something really dumb. He's done something dumb the past 4 days. This last week, he would come home, and I actually loved this. He would come home, and we would notice his pants looked kind of billowy. There's something in there.
Billowy.
Yeah, well, just there's something in there, right? And I'm not talking about he crapped his pants. And I was like, what is it? And I take his down by his ankle, his little pant leg, and I open it up, and all of these play snakes come out.
From the daycare?
Yeah.
He's stealing from the daycare all the toy snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's stealing, and I had to be serious with him, and I try to be. And I'm like, it's not okay to steal. And he's like, yeah, it's just snakes down my pants. And I'm like, no. You can't.
You're taking those. They belong to somebody else.
Somebody else's. I'm not really angry. I'm just you got to learn that. It's somebody else's. We can't take stuff that belongs to other people. And his whole line of argument is it's just snakes down my pants.
It's just snakes down my pants.
It's just snakes down my pants. And now when I talk about it, he goes, okay, Dada, I'm sorry.
Fine. Buzzkill.
It's just snakes.
So this is where he started being a klepto. When he's
could be, yeah.
When the mall calls you and he's in the little mall slammer,
yeah.
you're gonna go. You know where this started. Snakes in his pants.
We have your son.
Just snakes.
Keep him.
Here's my. I'll give you my proud parenting moment, and then we will move on from this week. Picked up the kids from school. One of the girls was in a bad mood, so I was trying to cheer them up. And I go, "Oh, do you want to pick one of your favorite songs? I'll play it on the radio, whatever." Usually plug it in Apple Music, let them pick something. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work. And I go, well, why don't I pick something? And so I just wanted to kind of make them laugh. And so I went onto Apple Music and I just put in the word fart.
That's smart.
And they play it. There's multiple albums that just play fart sounds. And it worked like a dream. Both girls started laughing, and each one had their own names. I think very much like the afternoon show on this very station has names of their different fart sounds. This one was going like, oh, the left cheek sneak and the wet one and more than I expected and whatever. So we'd hear the fart, we'd laugh. They're reading the names off of my dashboard and then laughing at the name again, and there's a little pause between it. And then yesterday we decided to just grab some takeout food. So just went and do takeout.
Yeah.
And normally the girls will just stay home or whatever. And they're like, I go, anybody want to go with me? Yeah. And they're super excited. I'm like, oh, cool. They want to hang out with their dad. They get in the car. Can you play 1,000 fart sounds again? We drove all the way there, all the way back.
Amazing.
Just listening to fart noises in the car. And we're just laughing hysterically. And I hope it was loud enough. I was hoping it was loud enough that somebody walking like on the street could hear what was being played out of the car. And it's just
some dad with twin girls.
The girls just laughing hysterically. Just fart sound after fart sound after fart sound.
I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah.
That's
good. Oh yeah, the one I pulled it up. It is called their favorite one because we listened to multiple.
Oh yeah.
This is a single track. It is called Fart Sounds over 1,000 farts.
Nice.
That's the one that they like the most. So
I like that.
If you're looking at it, it's got a green chemical smoke image on the front of it. It's on Apple Music. Enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great time listening to that by yourself, with someone you love, or with someone you hate. That was our Good versus Evil, ladies and gentlemen. It's brought to you by our friends at 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Their food is delicious, and you should eat it. They're in 3 locations, Beaverton, Burnside, and Woodstock. Go on, get yourself some terry chicken, get some Kahlua pig, get a double-sided mac salad. They're going to try to give you 2 scoops of rice and 1 scoop of mac. Just have them switch that. It's awesome. Go online, ate-oh-ate.com. You can see menus, order right there. Go in and pick it up and listen to fart sounds all the way there and all the way back. Hour 2, we'll talk probably more basketball, get into some baseball. Spring training well underway, seeing what we're expecting from our teams. There are new rules in the NFL. There are teams getting ready to move around, people demanding trades. It is very fun, very exciting. Hour 2 of The Sinner and the Saint is next on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, it's Dirt here for Crunch Fitness. Spring is on its way.
Oh, this is so good. The Final Frontier. These are the voices of the sinner and the saint.
Did you really think that after absolutely blowing your butt out in game one? Did they blow their butt out? Yes, they blew their collective butts out to try to get that win.
Oh, their weekly mission to provide hot takes, medium takes, mild takes, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Take me to Flavor Town.
Luke Anderson.
You're welcome. You're welcome, world.
Will Darkins.
I know what you're thinking. What will the butt test tell us that the nose test didn't?
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate Show on 1080 The Fan, the
Odyssey
map.
It's just turned into a gigantic Mexican.
And 1080thefan.com.
Hour 2! If you missed anything from hour 1, shame on you. How dare you? What were you doing with your time? But don't worry, podcast, it's available at 1080thefan.com. It's on odyssey.com. It's on the Odyssey app. And now it comes with Snakes in Your Pants. So enjoy that. New edition of just Snakes in Your Pants.
It's just snakes in my pants. I'm like,
what do you want? How many?
That doesn't make it better.
How many snakes?
There's like 3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I know. And he just did it day after day. And then the last day.
Same 3 snakes?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't keep track.
Variations of different snakes.
Yeah, we had to take it back. And then the last day he did it of this week, I just laughed. I was like, I can't. Like, I keep trying to be serious about this, but, like, you're not understanding me, so.
Will's 3.5-year-old smuggling snakes out of daycare in his pants. How did you return them? Did you just walk in there and, like, walk in the door and, like, walk over to, like, the basket of fake snakes and just drop them down and say nothing? Or did you go, hey, I'm really sorry about this. Finley Luke Darkins decided to steal these snakes. I want to give them back to you. Maybe keep an eye on it because this is the 3rd day in a row that he's done it. So here are the snakes back.
No, we just
drove by and threw him into the yard.
No, we just put him back in his backpack because they open his backpack, for stuff like you put like the stuff they need for the day in there, and then the teachers will open it.
You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You put it back in. You didn't do that. You need to take these back and apologize and tell them that. Well,
he's 3.5. His reasoning for it is it's just snakes in my pants.
Listen.
I did it. I want the. It wasn't even on that level of, but they're mine and I want them. It was literally like
they're just snakes in my pants.
It's just snakes in my pants.
Everybody's
Why are you
doing
freaking
it
out.
Yeah. I tell you, he's 16. Like he's just 16. So he stole a car. Who didn't steal a car when they were 16?
So you're saying this is the slippery slope?
I'm saying that you are starting a slippery slope. We had, you get your kids with sticky fingers. They need to go and they need to return stuff and they need to make an apology because then they can realize the shame of being a kid with snake in his pants. And obviously it didn't work. So if he shows up with snakes in his pants on Monday, I think you need to have him go and apologize, hand the snakes back personally. Take accountability for your actions. I don't care if you're 3.5 or 33.5.
See, here's kind of how I approached it, which was my wife didn't freak out, so I didn't.
Well, if I've learned anything about parenting, it is that you can both be wrong at the same time.
Yeah, but there's also the game of like,
oh, you're playing parenting chess.
Yeah, is it worth it for me to make a big deal out of this when my wife doesn't?
But is that making a big deal? That's the thing is you put the onus on the kid. Then it's neither of your parents. Just go, hey,
dude,
you're gonna have to.
He's 3.5. He's stuffing snakes down his pants.
So, is he stuffing them down his pants or up his pants?
I'm not there to see it. I can only assume down. If it's up, now I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Those little kids, man.
Yeah. My whole parenting philosophy has been like there's a hierarchy of like concerns.
Yeah.
And stuffing snakes down your pants, it's like it's pretty low.
Yeah.
To me, that's like, okay, you're 3.5. You don't quite understand that. Yeah. When your mom is gone, sometimes you get upset and you'll ask me, where is mom?
Yeah.
And I tell you 400 times, but you keep asking me. That should indicate to me that the higher concepts aren't sticking quite yet.
Yeah. I'm picking up.
So
what you're
snakes down the pants.
I'm picking up what you're putting
I'm going to
down.
let it slide for now. When you steal something of consequence, then we're going to have a longer talk.
Yeah. I think it's never too early to shame your children.
Okay, Dada. I'm sorry. Okay.
I just love that you noticed his pants were a bit billowy.
Yeah. Because I was
what we got going on in there?
Well, yeah, because I was like, what is that? Like your leg is larger than the other one. What's going on there?
I feel like somewhere in this transition there is a snake in the pants joke. And I've got several options that I'm kicking around. None of them feel like they're perfectly appropriate for air. So
not only that, perfectly appropriate for a 3-year-old.
No. What I'm trying to do is transition from your story of your son sticking snakes in his pants and saying, just snakes in my pants, to the NFL Combine. We've got the Underwear Olympics.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If you think Finn's snakes were bad down his pants, you should have seen the tights on those guys at the Combine. Let's talk about it next.
It's easy. Yeah. No, they're all out there. But I want to play the fun game of I'm going to give you snakes in the pants and the Underwear Olympics. Fill in your own jokes and use the fan text line to do so. That's what I'm asking people to do. So if you could make that work, if you've got a snake in the pants joke, I've got 35 of them floating around. Will's was okay. It's just fine. Send in your snakes in the pants joke for the NFL Combine. We'll talk about it next on The Sinner and the Saint. This is 1080 The Fan.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Henderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Have you been following the NFL Combine, Mr. Darkins?
No.
Well, you missed.
Nobody's working out.
Well, if you're not following it, did you miss the incident where NFL security had to step between two individuals?
Was there snake on snake action?
No, there was a beef at the Combine that nearly led to fisticuffs. It was shouting profanities at the Combine's designated hotel, the Marriott, down at the Starbucks in their lobby. There was a shouting match that required a phone call to NFL security to call in and squash the thing because Jordan Schultz of The Score and Ian Rappaport of ESPN had differing stories.
Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport?
Yes. Did you? This is new to you.
Now, one of them, I see it. The other, I don't.
So
Schultz, that checks.
Well, okay. So here's
Ian Rappaport.
Well, here's what happened.
Seems rather mild-mannered.
Yeah, it feels very much like that was the situation, pretty much exactly. So Jordan Schultz initially reported that sources were reporting that minority owner Tom Brady hosted Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana where they spent time together and went skiing. Brady was actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders. So suggesting that there was possible tampering going on. Ian Rappaport quickly said that the meeting was unplanned and was not extensive or in-depth and did not talk about, quote, hosting or, quote, recruiting Stafford, despite reports that say otherwise. So he immediately basically shot it down with his sources. Then they have a little Twitter beef. And then in the Starbucks, which is ironic because I believe Jordan Schultz is the son of Howard Schultz.
Is he really?
I believe that is what I've heard. Yeah, so
That's
Schultz then confronts Rappaport, and according to witnesses, he said, "We need to talk." To which Rappaport said, "No, we don't." And Schultz said, "If you have anything to say it to my face. This continues, we're going to have a problem." Schultz asked him, Rappaport asked Schultz to step back, and he continues yelling profanity at him. They had to call in NFL security to break up two guys trying to report on a Matthew Stafford situation, which has now been resolved because Matthew Stafford will remain a Ram.
Yeah, dude. Talk about not worth it. All that over Matt Stafford? Please. You couldn't pick someone better?
Could you imagine somebody being so upset with something that you said on this show or contradicting something you said on the show that it would come to blows?
If somebody came up to me and was like, "I heard you say that awful thing about Dan Marino and I'm pissed off," I'd be like, "Oh my God, you listen to the show?"
Thanks.
Wow. Do you have a life? Are you married, sir?
Yeah. The one thing that I've heard about the Combine, a couple guys doing great, a couple guys underperforming, and everybody wearing underwear. That's basically all I've heard.
Well, who's underperforming? I don't even know anyone that's not that's working out at this thing.
There's nobody of consequence. There's nobody of consequence, but it's guys that you're surprised by. The one thing that the one story that gives me some hope and promise is there is a lot of talent on the defensive line and a lot of talent on the offensive line, which means the Seahawks picking late have a good chance of adding talent to their offensive line or their defensive line.
Well, you're not going to get that guy from LSU.
That one guy from LSU. Yeah, but what about the guy from A&M? Or what about the guy from that other state school? Or that guy from that private school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a good story.
Yes. It's a great story.
No, he is. He's like, isn't he like 6'2", like barely 300, but he's an athletic freak? I thought that was.
Is that the LSU guy?
No, this is the guy from. I saw a story in The Athletic about this, and it was friggin' hilarious.
Oh, there's a guy, safety from South Carolina, that has like the perfect athletic score, and that's being pushed out as a big story. But even with that, they're thinking like second round.
Yeah.
So it's you can improve your stock, but it's not for the top guys. It's been a long time since the Combine has been about the top guys. Somebody runs a really fast time, and all of a sudden John Ross is taken in the first round, and then what's he doing right now? How good was his NFL career?
John Ross.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah. So it's It's the Underwear Olympics. I love that people get heated enough, but the fact that there was a reporter fight in the hotel lobby is fantastic.
Well, not only that, but like, again, I really want to stress this. Matt Stafford.
Yes.
That's what you got angry about?
Well,
like there's better things to get angry about than doofus Matt Stafford.
Doofus?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
She likes it cool. I like it warm.
Dude, that is a great commercial, and that's why I bought the bed that I now own. Because of that commercial. And I bought it at the store that they were promoting.
Did you?
Yeah, the bed that they were promoting. The bed that they were promoting in that ad is the one that I bought from the store that they're promoting. I can't tell you what those are right now, but if like I looked up the receipt, it would definitely be. Like I saw it one time, left the house, bought the product at the place.
She likes it cool. I like it warmer. So bad. Sometimes I feel like they, like, you know what? There was another NFL ad that, to me, and this is a whole campaign. I don't know if it's going to keep going, but I'm sure everybody's familiar with Davante Adams having a Taco Bell in his house.
Yes. How'd they pick Davante Adams?
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Because that's a really great concept.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's funny and it has a lot of like. Yeah, it has a lot of possibilities to be funny. But why did you land on Davante Adams?
Imagine if it was somebody recognizable that was in there.
Well, yeah, or just
with a
personality. Yeah, Davante Adams doesn't have a personality.
No, the nerd behind the counter carries the ad.
Yes, Davante Adams sucks. I can't tell if he's pissed off in the ad. He seems really, really mad.
Yes, he does.
Which is very odd
because they're handing him a big pile of money and a chicken burrito.
Well, yeah, and you have a Taco Bell in your house. Like, why are you so pissed off?
Yeah, he seems
very angry. I mean, there's a lot of people you could pick for that. Like, give me George Kittle.
Well, they have
George Kittle in there.
Anybody that's recognizable would
I've noticed this lately that like I don't think NFL players really have personalities anymore.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it used to be even like 10 years ago where like I felt like there was more personality in the league, but now
look at the Manning brothers. I mean, they're still the biggest personalities in the league and they haven't played for half a decade.
And they did. And even when they were playing, like there was parts because obviously it didn't come out until really like post-career. Though I guess Peyton Manning was on SNL when he was playing.
So was Eli.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But I feel like now it's just everybody, PR teams have gotten their claws into everybody so much that they're just boring.
Well, let me ask you this: who's the biggest personality in the NBA
right now?
Yeah, Steph.
I think this is also a really good point. I think the NBA this is what it's suffering from. I would say LeBron James.
But but he doesn't have a personality.
He does.
Does he have a compelling personality? He definitely has a personality.
Some people he does. Yes. I think for some people he does have a compelling personality. And I think that the guy who you're trying to pass the baton to, at least this season, Shea, right? Who you would think, boy, I don't know what's going on up there. I can't get a read on that.
How about anybody for the Celtics? Any personality within 1,000 miles of Boston?
I was hearing this on a podcast recently. Somebody was talking about how Jason Tatum, they're trying to make him face of the league because you'll see him in a lot of advertisements and he's affiliated too with a lot of league-wide initiatives where he's kind of the face, whether it's charity or like a cause. And they said that after that documentary, the Starting Five, did you watch that on Netflix? Not. So Netflix did a docuseries called Starting Five where they basically followed 5 players in the NBA, I think 2 seasons ago, that they found to be or might be compelling, and included Domantas Sabonis, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
The only thing you could get from Jason Tatum was that he loves his mother, he loves his kids, he loves Kobe Bryant, and he loves basketball. That was it. And it was like the most, like if you were in the league office and you saw that, you just like dropped your head and you were like, oh my God. Does this guy have anything else about him?
When he was complaining that he doesn't get enough credit for everything that he's done, like if you, he had this quote the other day that it's going to be paraphrased, but something to the effect if you looked at my numbers and put it, on somebody else's face, they would be recognized as the greatest player. My accomplishments at this point in my career deserve more credit. It's like, oh, barf. Dude, that's what you're worried about, is that you're not getting enough credit for it. But yeah, I mean, name a player under 40 with a personality in the league, and it is a little tricky. Like, Steph is great and he's fun to watch. He doesn't have a ton of personality.
No.
Yeah. So, but okay, now try.
I wouldn't want to sit and listen to him talk.
Now let's go to baseball.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
even
year
in baseball,
one with baseball,
there probably is one or two, since I've kind of gotten onto it, it's like, there's probably a couple guys.
Yeah. Well, but
Bryce Harper's a good interview.
Yes, but he's also an old guy. Like, he's been around a long time, and it's funny because there are more outlets for people to interact, and maybe we're just more disconnected with the personalities of the guys that maybe are online and TikTok and doing whatever. But like, when Playoff P decided that he was going to shut down his podcast so he could focus on basketball for the rest of the year, I was like, you have a podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Like, who is listening to Paul George's podcast?
It's a popular one.
But this is what I'm saying, is maybe it's just you and I not being connected to it. But I don't picture Paul George having a personality.
But you know what, though? See, and this is kind of the disconnect that I think that a lot of leagues have in terms of their markets, right? Because you make a good point that, like, fans of leagues, there are different demographics. Obviously, the NFL is a very wide range where you have your crotchety dudes and your younger fans.
Yeah.
And currently, the NFL as a brand is shoving down your throat until you have diarrhea Patrick Mahomes. If they can get you to think about Patrick Mahomes on the toilet during an important life moment, intimate time with your significant other, if you're thinking of Patrick Mahomes, they did their job, right?
Yeah.
The problem is he doesn't have a personality, and he's not entertaining, and there's nothing really about him that would tell you he's unique from any other player other than his skills on the football field, which for a lot of people, that's okay, because that's what you want to see. But if you are attempting to sell omnipresent entertainment on and off the field, I do not care about Patrick Mahomes and his wife.
Yeah.
I don't care about their women's soccer team that they own, because they're not really doing anything with it that I find compelling at all.
Here is your top 20 athletes by social media following.
Okay. This is all sports.
This is all sports.
Okay. Across the world.
Across the world.
Okay.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Messi. You've ever heard of Virat Kohli? Kohli.
Cricket.
Yeah. Neymar. LeBron James. Soccer, all the way down to number 18 or 17 on the list. Steph Curry. Soccer.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't tell you how compelling the personalities of Ronaldo and Messi are at the top of the list, but obviously soccer is dominating this list. The fact that cricket is ahead of basketball, I know that they're more global sports, and maybe this is the best way to interact with your favorite players because you don't have the TV outlets and the sports radio networks that we have in the U.S., but it sure does appear that the professional sports landscape in the U.S. is not really cracking through to that list.
Well, not only that, but the fact that I would argue, football fans are more passionate than any other sport in the United States.
Well, just Instagram, Usain Bolt is number 2, Federer number 3, Tom Brady is 4.
Like, if you want to try to convince me of that otherwise, I guess I would ask you the question, have you ever murdered anybody at a sporting event? Because they do that at soccer games.
Yeah.
They murder people. There's a famous riot that happened at a soccer game back in the 80s where a bunch of people got killed.
Well, and yes.
So
if
you think you're passionate, possibly consider that.
Yeah. So just scrolling down this this Instagram list, Messi still playing. Usain Bolt, I don't think he's competing anymore. Federer's retired. Tom Brady retired. Andy Murray just retired. Ronaldo's still playing. Neymar is still playing. LeBron James still. And then there's soccer. Shaq hasn't played in forever. Steph Curry, Conor McGregor. J.J. Watt retired, but there's Dwayne Wade, Russell Westbrook. There's a guy, NFL. So Odell Beckham Jr., not even a great player, is the first active NFL player on the list.
He's still playing?
Yeah, kind of.
Right?
Yeah.
Is he?
But that's
Is
what I mean.
He even signed anywhere?
I don't know. There's a lot of retired players on here, though. Kevin Durant is on the list. So the NBA is doing better than others.
Let's see.
Lonzo Ball is up there. Klay Thompson, Melo, Tony Hawk. It's not a lot of American sports that are out there using personality forward.
Last on the Dolphins. Free agent.
Yeah. But he played last year.
Yeah. God, he's only 32.
Yeah.
Why is he so just
irrelevant? Injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries. I mean, you know,
he's just really injured a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he was incredible for the Rams in their recent Super Bowl year. I mean, it was very short lived, but that
was coming off of an injury, having a good playoff run, and then getting injured again because didn't he tear his ACL in the Super Bowl?
But he had like 3 catches. Yeah. Very significant catch. Yeah.
Yeah, but so did Chris Matthews when the Seahawks lost to the Patriots, and Chris Matthews never did anything. One of the most famous catches in Super Bowl history is David Tyree. Let's go through his career stats. You don't have to be, at the top of your game.
And Chris Matthews too benefited from not having a real corner on him.
Well, yeah. Hey, listen, that's a good game plan. It's like, hey, let's start. Nobody's going to expect this.
Let's put Andrew Browner on you and see what happens.
So,
and then they never heard from him again, ever.
Yeah, but it's there's strategies, but yeah, he completely disappeared. So for Odell Beckham Jr., who has one of the greatest catches in NFL history. But he's still floating around, so who knows if he'll end up on the roster next year. If he wants to, I imagine there's somebody that's like, yeah, dude, him as a number 3 receiver is great. We'll take it. So I don't know. Yes, the NFL lacks personalities. The combine is not producing a whole lot more. Shedeur Sanders is trying to buck that trend of personality first, but this draft's going to be a weird one. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a lot of names that I feel like you don't recognize that played integral roles on offensive and defensive lines. Yeah. So, kind of is what it is.
Tight.
So we'll see where Will's optimism meter is on the Baltimore Orioles, and we'll take a little bit look at baseball now that we've gotten a couple weeks into spring training and see where we're sitting. We'll do that after this SportsCenter update.
Speaking of quarterbacks in the NFL, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported on Friday that the Giants are now taking a very serious look at Aaron Rodgers.
I know. How weird is that?
I mean, I don't know what else you're going to do unless you draft. And so that to me indicates that they've scouted enough that they said, neither of those 2 guys, if they fall to us, we believe in. Which I think that, right? What are the Giants picking?
That's what I was just pulling up.
I think 3rd.
Yeah, they should be. Well, there's a pretty high likelihood. Yeah, they're third overall pick.
Okay, so
Tennessee is.
You would possibly miss out on Cam Ward to the Browns because I think the dude from Penn State's kind of locked in at 1.
Well, Tennessee sounds like is more likely to trade out of their position, but whether it's somebody moving up to get a quarterback or not.
Oh, I don't know if they could trade out. I mean, obviously they could, but I don't know. That would be tricky because then, are you really getting something significant back? Because if you go down the list, there's not really a lot of teams who are clamoring hard for a quarterback. There's 3.
Raiders at 6, Jets at 7, Saints at 9. And the Saints have no money. So
the Saints, maybe you can get the Saints to do it. But for a lot of these teams, too, they're in these situations where a rookie quarterback doesn't really blend with their timeline, meaning the Steelers, it's like, no, everything's set. We need somebody to come right the ship. The only 2, I would even argue that the Raiders, you could get a veteran in there and you could start competing next season. There's only 2 teams to me where it's like, you got to get a rookie in there now.
Cleveland?
It's Cleveland and the Jets.
Yeah. Well, they said,
or I'm sorry, Cleveland and the Giants.
Yeah. And
because the Jets, there's enough talent where it's like, maybe you could do it again.
And if you're the Giants, and if you don't like either of those guys, you're not going to try to leapfrog to get the Browns to get the guy that you do need. But if you're the Titans, you need so much help.
Yeah.
That it's move down, see what you can get. We'll see where it ends up. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers. can't imagine that guy being the solution for many teams.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Portland Metro Dealers RV Show.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Oh, man, I saw the headline. I thought of you immediately.
New penis extension surgery?
I sent you that email, right? Did you get it? I forwarded you that email. Also, young Ukrainian women looking for love in your area. You got those two emails, right? You didn't respond, so I just assumed that.
Yeah,
you got
but
it.
I didn't want it.
Oh, no, I assumed that you responded to them, not me. Gunnar Henderson exits spring training with lower right side discomfort.
Yeah.
There goes your season.
That's good.
No?
He had the same thing last year.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
They said it's just a precaution. That does not seem to be.
They literally shut him down, and then he was on opening day.
Well,
what I will say is that this time it occurred during a spring game. Though, when you watch it, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, very concerning. He's your best player, so yeah. But Other than that, spring training has been good in some ways and concerning in others, at least in Orioles land.
What's your big concern in Orioles land?
The big concern is the depth of pitching.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily your starters, because the starters that did come out and pitched so far, you're very intrigued by and you very much like. Grayson Rodriguez came out and looked good after coming off of injury where he was pretty much gone the last quarter of the season. He looks good, and if he progresses enough, he could become an ace by the end of this season. Zach Eflin came in and did what he does, showed very good control. But the one very, very bright spot that you're saying to yourself now, wow, I'm glad they took a flyer on this guy, is Tomoyuki Sagano, who's the 35-year-old Japanese guy they got who had won numerous awards during his prime playing in Japan. I believe the Nippon League or whatever
Nippon League.
And was kind of left for parts considering he was 35. So a lot of teams didn't take a flyer on him, and we did. We took him to a 1-year $something million deal. That guy can put the ball literally wherever he wants.
Well,
I was looking at his heat thing where they show you the pitches, and they showed all of his different type of pitches, and it literally was exactly where it should be for what the pitch is.
Yeah.
Like it just, So that part of it, I was like, oh my God.
Accuracy and control. Like the other thing too that I keep thinking when I watch Major League Baseball is having somebody that can control a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or even 85-mile-an-hour fastball has worked in every generation for like a few guys. But having that guy in your rotation when you're used to seeing 98, 98, 98, 98, and then having somebody that throws that counterpunch, if only a few guys are doing it, it's going to be a valuable guy to have in your lineup. Just that change-up pitcher where you just get heat after heat after heat. And then when you go to the bullpen off of a guy like, Moyer or Wakefield had all the success, or R.A. Dickey, the guys that throw knuckleballs, then you go to the bullpen and the next time through the lineup, it's 98, 98, 98. Yeah. It's nice having those change-up guys. So I don't know how much heat this guy has on it, but I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it gets around 90 for his fastball.
90-mile-an-hour fastball, but 10 miles an hour makes a huge difference when you see a 90 versus a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Other than that, on the offensive side, Jackson Holliday looks to have improved a lot. Yeah. He has had one or more hits in each of his spring appearances, including a 2-run shot. So he looks really good, and he's been working defensively too. At second base, he looks better.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly encouraging. But otherwise, like all the dudes we have look like they're playing well. The pitching is still obviously just kind of a concern, especially one of our guys, Albert Suarez, who's supposed to be like the end of our rotation, and he just has like sucked. Which I understand it's spring. We're playing the Pirates right now, and we just scored on Paul Skeens after like 3 batters. So I know they're going up there, they're testing stuff, they're seeing what works. But that guy at the end of our rotation, Suarez, I was like,
I don't know if you looked at the calendar, but it is March today.
It is,
26 days until opening day.
Yeah.
So
some of those Mariners. How's spring league?
Well, okay. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Grace?
Grace Kelly?
Nope. Grace as
Will and Grace?
Oh well. How do you feel about Will and Grace?
It's a funny show.
Okay. Grace as a pillar of your coaching philosophy.
Explain.
Well, it's a pillar of Dan Wilson's coaching philosophy. They're going to work hard. But they're going to give their players grace.
Okay. I mean, your roster's largely unchanged, right?
Largely unchanged. You lost Justin Turner, didn't really replace him. You've got a couple additions in the bullpen. You got guys coming healthier, but largely unchanged.
Your pitching staff is still
rock solid.
Great.
It's the same guys. Everybody has gotten their turn going through at least their first spring start, and they've all looked good. So, it seems to be like they're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Grace, in terms of my one season of following baseball, is probably good to have. But
but the moniker or if you're going to choose a way to kind of talk about the Scott Service era, it was discipline. It was a guy that sat over there with an expressionless face, scowling, and it was like, hey, we are going to be on our the details are what matter. And it was fairly rigid. And so for Dan Wilson to come in and just being like, hey, listen, I want everybody to go out there and give it everything they've got, but I'm not going to kill them because they, took a chance on a pitch out of the zone. I'm not going to kill them if they, try to get an extra base here and there. So grace. I don't know how it works out. But that was the thing. I was listening to a Dan Wilson interview, and he wants to give his guys grace, and I think I like it, but I don't know how it translates.
Well,
but I'm looking at Julio, who was emerging as a superstar in this league and was off last year. I look at Randy Arozarena, who has had spectacular moments in his career and seems like a guy that just has a ton of fun playing. And you give that guy a little more grace to go out there. Does it help, or is it the Marine layer over T-Mobile Park and it doesn't matter?
Well, I think that grace comes with trust, and trust comes with knowing what you have. And I think for the Mariners, like we started talking about this, right? Like they know what they have.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that that's probably a wise move in terms of coaching because, we've seen the product. We know what works and what doesn't, where the weaknesses are and where the strengths are. And so instead of having a rigid approach where, you're pissed off at people. Going out and letting your guys play, that's kind of, probably a pretty great concept for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Hyde, the Orioles manager, it's kind of the same way. And he takes that approach because of the fact that literally everyone on the roster is so friggin' young.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, I'm not going to be an a-hole to these, 22, 23, 24-year-olds. Like, they're just starting in the league. Like, they want to have fun, let them have fun. And then I'm just hoping the veteran guys who are here will kind of help them shape out.
Yeah.
So we were hoping that with Corbin Burns, though. Other reporting after the fact indicated Corbin Burns just didn't care about that. He was just kind of like, yeah, I'm here to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which, hey,
Yeah.
I think they were hoping for him to come in as an ace and be like a leader.
Yeah.
And apparently he just wasn't interested in that.
Well, baseball is one of those sports where especially pitchers are weird guys anyways, but just leaving them to their own devices. I mean, the Scherzer story always cracks me up where Dave Roberts, when he's pitching for the Dodgers, comes out and Dave Roberts kind of pats him on the butt and gives him like something in his ear, and Scherzer just looks back and just goes, never do that again. I'm a professional. It's like, I'll take care of this myself. Like, don't tell me what to do. Just leave me the hell alone. I've been doing this longer than
I know.
Yeah. It's
well. So who are your leaders then? I mean, it seems like pitchers.
Well, I honestly, I mean, I bring it up, but I think the pitching staff is going to be rock solid. They're splits for home and road. They're still great at home. You need to have a section of the lineup that can be feared. And if JP Crawford can get on base at a higher clip, and then you have Randy Arozarena and Julio hitting like they can, and you don't want to make it around to the top of the lineup, I think that's what you're waiting for with the Mariners. You just need your superstar to be a superstar. And Julio was ascending and looked great. If you can get some young guys to become, regular starters instead of rotation players like Dylan Moore or, what's his name? Ryan Bliss, who has a ton of talent and can be out there, like, let's go. Come on. That's what you need. Is you need, just your best players to step up and be all-stars. You need your next tier of players to step up and be everyday players. But you need to get guys, you need to get run support for this thing. If you have that good of a staff, get them 3 runs a game.
Yeah.
Can we just do that?
Yeah.
And they finished last year really strong. They're obviously on the outside looking in, but just consistency. And if Brian Wu, who looks very healthy, can start the year like he finished last year, I think the pitching staff has room to get even better. I mean, you had 3 guys in the top 10 in Cy Young voting. None of them were right there, but still, it's like they all have these traits. And like Bryce Miller going out and just slinging it. Logan Gilbert. I mean, come on. And if they don't make any moves, early on in the season, everybody's pitching well, then you still have Castillo or whoever that you can maybe make a move for a bat at the trade deadline, and having a couple guys in the wings waiting to take that last spot in the rotation. Yeah. Feels pretty good. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll tell you what to watch this weekend. Might not be watching anything, but we'll tell you what to watch in What to Watch. We do it next. Sinner and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you
We got March Madness right around the corner. Are you at all interested in college basketball?
No.
Okay. What are you watching this weekend?
What do I got this weekend? I might watch that Obama Olympics basketball doc on Netflix.
The fan text line pointing out that the Mariners have a free game on MLB TV. So if you'd like to watch the Mariners, today is your day.
I might do that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Will, thanks as always. And for now, we're done. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Dirt here for Crunch Fitness. March right into Crunch Fitness this month and pay just $3 to enroll in the Peak Results membership, plus your first month free. You can learn more